How much musical theory do you know, and would you class it as essential?
There we go. Now, this is a question I get a lot, particularly for fine folks such as yourself, who are, doing a lot that involves an awful lot of technicality, that involves a lot of kind of choreography. As far as I'm aware, Inka and Georgie, you've both had formal music education, haven't you? Helena, have you had any?
No.
No, I haven't really had that.
You haven't really? I thought you went Brit school. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I did. I mean, the Brit school wasn't really about that. It was more about performing and kind of, yeah.
I learned on the job. That's what I've done.
That's probably the best way of doing it.
Best place for it.
DJs, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
It's the best way.
Yeah.
Have any of you actually learned any of it? Or are you just being like, this is what sounds cool, I made a rad noise, I'm going to stick it with other rad noises, and there we go?
I've been learning a lot of musical theory, but pretty much after graduating, just forgotten it all. And when it comes to music production, you really don't need theory at all. That's why probably I fell in love with it, because it's exactly like you said. Ooh, a cool sound. What can I do to make it even cooler? And it's more about the feeling. It's nothing to do with music theory.
Yeah, that is going to be so reassuring to so many people who are listening.
I personally don't think you need music theory to get you into production I mean, it does really help, but I don't think it's an essential thing. But I would say I've learned everything I've ever could do is just through listening to music. It's just literally, I'm like you, Helena, like I would see myself as a DJ in that respect, that I've just learned everything I know through listening to music. I'm a bit of a music enthusiast. Like I literally, that's for me is an essential part of being, like in music production or a songwriter. It's just like know as much as you can about music,
Yeah. Knowledge is absolutely still important. It just informs you of what it is that you're doing. And I think the only thing I remember of my like musical theory education is critical listening. That's the only bit that still stays in my mind, is like to be able to listen to a piece of music and have a basic understanding of theory enough to just know what a composer's done, to know what an artist has done, to assign a discipline to like Inka, what you were saying, which is an emotional urgency. Like vocabulary can be really important, and having some of those words and some of those definitions to just kind of help me better understand what I'm doing as a producer or as a performer, as a songwriter, they can open up a whole different world of creativity. But I think, Georgia, like you said, absolutely, it's not like an absolute priority to be able to then call yourself a producer or call yourself a songwriter. But I'd say it's definitely helpful to have enough of that information so that you can better critique yourself.
I guess it's what people, there's loads of different roles in music that you can be now.
Yeah.
A songwriter, you can be a lyricist, you can be, all these things. So I guess it is like maybe first figuring out what it is you want to do, and then maybe if to sit in a room with another artist and be able to understand chord progressions and to understand like, oh, I can take, maybe if we're in C or whatever and we could take it somewhere there, I think that's quite handy personally.
I
get that. I agree with that as well.
I even feel like for the DJ aspect as well, that's actually super important, but that's something which I've kind of like trained my ear to know what works together, and I had no idea what any of it meant, but just from listening to music thoroughly in and out, I began to go, oh, I know what works next to each other. I know what should go there. And I think that's a great thing. Like you said, Georgia, listening to music thoroughly as an artist is, it's what you love, right? So listening to it through and through is definitely important.
100%. That is going to be very helpful, guys.